Good morning, everyone. Oh my. The energy is very different today. Oh my gosh. My phone totally froze to do this video. I had it all set up looking right here and I'm putting things down and I'm like, how come I don't see anything? I can't see anything. It just froze. Oh, bizarre. Anyway, okay, let's get started because we have quite a bit to do here. So potatoes are washed, hands are washed, everything's washed. We're gonna get these guys going. And actually, what I might do, because these mandolins are very extremely dangerous, actually, if you don't use the finger guard, and so we're definitely going to be doing that. And that potato's a little bit too high for the finger guard, so I'm going to try and push it through just once to bring it down, and then this thing should go on there. Okay, so we're going to try and slice these potatoes evenly. It's kind of, I cut the bottom half of the potato to make it flat, and I should have probably cut the top because then the little thing for the guard would stay better. So you always want to be careful, and these things are tricky. You know, I have a really ancient old one, and I bought this because I like that it has more protection and more abilities to do different things. But I'm not. There, I cut both ends. Yeah, I'm not too happy with the blade. The blade seems to be, it wants to make me struggle. And I totally get that, that they maybe made the blade duller for liability's sake, because these things can be so dangerous. But my really old one, I think it was a K-tail or something like 100 years ago. And it had a way sharper blade, so it was way more dangerous, but it worked better. So unless for whatever reason there just happens to be something wrong with this blade. Anyways, oh my gosh, yes, the energy is very interesting because we had, was it Tuesday? We had a weird thing where there was flashing light. I'm just looking to see if it's happening now. There was a flashing light behind me, almost like a strobe light. And it was just the weirdest thing. And so we were talking about that Mercury's in retrograde, and I'm not sure if it still is or not right now. I'll just grab that one there. But when Mercury's in retrograde, it's all about electronics and communications getting very strange. And so that is quite likely what's happening. And so all the strange things happening, like the flashing the other day, and then my phone died. And that's the kind of thing that happens when Mercury's in retrograde. You know, I'm a certified herbalist and natural health consultant, and I've worked with energy a lot and studied many different modalities to do with natural health and healing and energy and stuff like that. But I don't know much about astrology. It's just not something that I have really gotten into. But the one thing I do know, so this blade is really dull, and this is a brand new machine. Anyways, the only thing I know about astrology is that when Mercury's in retrograde, like, expect things to go rather bizarre, and they often do. So anyway, this is a super cool recipe that I'm making here. I have not, God, they're just going everywhere. Might as well start putting them in the dish. That's where they're going anyway. I have not made this recipe before, and like I've said before on the Facebook Live, that the oh my gosh. Yeah, I might actually consider taking this machine back because I shouldn't have to struggle this hard with a brand new fancy-dancy machine. Or I'll take my old K-tail one that's 20 years old out of the cupboard. See? anyways, it really shouldn't be this hard to cut a potato. Anyway, okay, could have done it the old-fashioned way with a knife. All right, that's enough of that. So anyways, yes, Mercury in retrograde. Expect things to go strange. So it might be something you might want to pay attention to. If you, you know, when I know that Mercury is going into retrograde, I always back up my computer and make sure that anything that I'm working on with electronics is saved. So yeah, so you might want to pay attention to that as well, because it seems to be very much true that things tend to go differently. So anyways, what we're doing here, okay, we're doing the potato thing. We're doing a potato crust. If you guys haven't figured it out yet. And it's so, hi everybody, good morning. All the new people coming on. If you haven't figured that out yet, we're making a potato crust. So this is going to be super awesome. And we are making a potato artichoke quiche. And so that is very exciting to me because I have never done this before. And I love, oh no, actually, I'm sorry. It's a pumpkin chickpea artichoke quiche. Yes. I've never done anything like this before, so I think it's going to be super yummy and super awesome. I mean, what could be better than potatoes and vegetables and how it tastes like quiche. So anyway, so I guess I made a few too many potatoes anyways. Let's just even it out here. Okay, so the plan is, here's the plan. This goes in the oven at 400 degrees for 10 minutes. So mark your clock, and I will put this in and take it back out. And so there's that. Now we go on to this part here. This is the quiche filling, and so we're going to work with some veggies. Now originally I looked up this recipe, and originally it called for chickpea flour, which I don't have. So what I do have are yellow peas, and I bought these yellow peas dried from Vancouver Island Grain and Milling from Wayne Smith, and these were dried peas, and I put them in the Instant Pot, and I've noticed when I do that, they come out quite similar to chickpeas or garbanzo beans, whatever you want to call them. They come out quite similar in texture, and very very much the same as the chickpea flavor. So I've been using them instead of chickpeas. And I thought, well, let's try this. I don't know if it's going to make it any different than chickpea flour, but we'll give it a try. So we're going to go with 1 tablespoon of the nutritional yeast in here. Okay, nutritional yeast, so good for you, has tons of vitamins and B vitamins and super important for the immune system. And so, we're supposed to be adding, but we'll do it after. We're going to add a few different things. We're going to add a 1/4 cup of cashews. And I have these cashews here, these lovely raw cashews from Healthy Habits in Port Alberni. And so we're going to add the cashews. And then we're going to add, milk. This is the almond milk here. You could use coconut milk. You can use whatever kind of plant-based milk that you want, or any other kind of milk if you want. We're also going to add, let me think about this, 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. Okay, so I think that the lemon juice, to my understanding, I think it coagulates things, and I'm going to tell you why I think that in a minute. I'm not really sure on that, and that's one of the fun things about the Facebook Live, is that we all get on here and participate and you know, make comments and questions, because, you know, one person can't know everything, and I don't know if anybody could ever begin to know anything to be considered everything. So we get on here and we share information and recipes. And yeah, so feel free to jump in if you have any ideas on the lemon juice coagulating things. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm going to add some turmeric here. The turmeric, as well as turning things a little bit orangier, has the curcumin in it, so it's really good, anti-inflammatory. Oh my gosh, it has so many benefits, the curcumin turmeric, and you guys know all that because it's just so widely publicized with how important turmeric is. Okay, I'm going to, oh, when you add turmeric, you are always supposed to add a little bit of black pepper, so that, because it activates the turmeric. And we're going to add a little bit of Dijon mustard as well. It's, I don't know, I don't want it too strong, so I'm going to go with like a heaping half teaspoon, because it's going to go into that pie crust. So we're making the actual filling is what we're doing right now. Okay, so we're going to add, and this is the switch up for the recipe. We're going to add the chickpea substitute here and see if that works. So we're going to add 1/4 cup of this, and you're going to watch me as I struggle to be graceful. And so I was draining these guys, and you can see they turn right into, it's almost like instant hummus. I did intentionally overcook these a bit, because I know the original recipe called for chickpea flour, and since I don't have it, I'm using this. So, but it's quite pasty, as you can tell. So we're going to put that in. So this is going to give a little bit of protein, a little bit of extra, you know, thickening, because we're not using any eggs in this quiche. So I'm going to put that in, see if it splashes. Not so much. So that's pretty good. So we have our nutritional yeast, let me see, cashews, oats, milk, lemon juice. Oh, garlic. Yes, we need the garlic, and I'm kind of learning with you guys to peel my garlic first, because I know I've entertained you more than enough times with trying to peel the fresh garlic from the garden, because sometimes it just doesn't peel that well. So I am going to chop these up a little bit just to make sure they mix well in our mix. And the other thing we're going to add here, we're going to add 2 different things. We're going to add a little bit of Celtic sea salt, you know, because you always want salt, especially in something like a quiche. And then we're going to add some of this Himalayan black salt. And we worked with this, was it this week or last week? I think maybe it was Monday we worked with the Himalayan black salt. And if you're not familiar with black salt, it doesn't really smell too much like eggs, but it tastes like eggs, like unbelievable, like you wouldn't believe it. One little granule instantly gives you that, one little granule on the tongue gives you that egg flavor, and boiled egg smell and flavor. It's kind of awesome, really. So, so I'm going to go with a ½ teaspoon of this, and that's going to give the egg flavor. Okay, so that's super fun. And the other thing we're going to add is spinach leaves. Just thinking here. So we have our spinach leaves. I'm only going to add half, because we're going to kind of do this in 2 steps. So I'm only going to add half the spinach leaves for beautiful color and fantastic goodness, iron, all that kind of stuff. And we're adding artichoke hearts. And so, yeah, so that is going to give it just the most amazing flavor. And these things just never, oh my God, you know, these things just never really do exactly what you want them to do all the time. So we're going to try and pull these out with a fork. Okay, so we have artichoke hearts, and if you're using a regular blender, you might want to cut these in half, but this is a Vitamix, so I have faith. I have faith that it can grind these guys up. No problem. Okay, so there's the artichoke hearts. Get the little leaves out of here. Okay, you could use, yeah, you could use whatever you want that's similar. How's that sound? Use whatever you want, but kind of similar. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grind this up in the Vitamix here. And, okay. Okay, took a minute to grab those spinach leaves, wanted to float to the top. So, okay, I'm just looking at the clock now. We have to wait for the crust. We can't put this on the crust yet. We had to dry it out. Oh my God, if you could smell that black salt, it's just like a, it's almost like sticking your head into a bag of boiled eggs. Oh my gosh, I might have added a little too much. We'll see. I'll taste it. We'll see. I smell, it's just, I think because I whipped it all into the air. Oh my God. Oh, very good. Very good. Better make sure there's no egg on my lip. Oh my gosh. Okay. There we are. All right. So we're just going to give this another minute. Couple minutes for the actual potato pie crust to come out of the oven. So while we're waiting for that, I will entertain you with a couple things. One of them is I tried this recipe yesterday, and you guys know I usually don't pre-try a recipe. I usually just wing it, and we just have fun on Facebook and just experiment and learn new things and cook healthy foods and just see how it goes, right? So I'm the experimenter and you guys get to watch. So, but in this case here, this is a really incredible recipe, and it actually, I think it turned out pretty good, and we'll see. I mean, so far it's good. This is like a, well, you could use it as a vegan or plant-based cream cheese, or a vegan cheese, or even a sour cream. It's pretty cool. So what this is, and I'll make it for you on here, but it's super easy. All it is you take either cashew milk or, well, I didn't have any cashew milk. I only had almond milk, and I wasn't sure what the difference would be in the recipe. So I did a quarter cup of cashews to 2 cups of water. Quarter cup of cashews, 2 cups of water. I put it in the Vitamix, and then I strained because it had a little bit of the cashew, nut granules in the bottom. So I strained the nuts off and got my cashew milk. So this is simply cashew milk. You warm it up into a pot, and you add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice while it's warm. Like you don't quite bring it to a boil. And then you shut off the heat, and then you add the lemon juice, and you stir and stir and stir and to make sure it's well mixed. That's what I was saying. I think that the lemon juice is a kind of a congealer or a solidifying agent. So anyway, so after you take it off the stove and just let it sit, the lemon juice and the cashew milk, and then you just let it sit until it cools, and then you put it in a kind of like this, in a mesh, or I should say a what is that thing? A strainer. Anyway, yeah, a sieve. That's what it is. Put it in a sieve with a cheesecloth, and then you let it drain, the cashew milk and the lemon juice, and you let it drain overnight in the fridge, and then and that's it. You can squish it into the cheesecloth and try and get all of the juice out that you can. Sorry, I missed that part. You squeeze it out, put it in the strainer, squeeze it out, leave it in there with the cheesecloth in it, and squeeze as much as you can, put it in the fridge overnight, and then you drain it, and then it looks like this. So the taste is, I didn't put any seasoning in it. It tastes like pretty much like sour cream or even cream cheese. But it's missing that really cheesy part, so I'd say more like a sour cream. But my plan is you can use it as a chip dip, a sour cream, you can do anything with it. Add some powdered onion powder, garlic powder, all kinds of herbs and spices and things. So I'm going to work with this, and then we'll do it. And yeah, it's pretty cool to be able to make a plant-based cheese. And or that would be a good cottage cheese too. Kind of has that flavor. Okay, so we're time to bring those potatoes out of the oven. All right, let's do that. Sometimes I completely forget my words. Okay, so here we have the potatoes. So this is in the oven at 400 degrees for 10 minutes. So we just went over 10 minutes. We are going to, you know, I was thinking of putting these, this is cooked pumpkin that I cooked while I was doing the something else. I can't remember. And I was going to put these in chunks in there, but you know what? I think I'm going to mash them a bit and add it to it, along with a little bit of broccoli and a little bit of, and the rest of the spinach. So I think I will mash those down. I was thinking of doing chunks, but it seems to me having them broken down a little bit is going to be better. Okay, so, all right. And now I just didn't drain them very well. So I'm just going to try and scoop them out with the potato masher, and go like this, and just kind of spread it around a little bit, however you want to. So that's what happens when you forget to drain things. You're like, oh, and it doesn't matter. I don't mind if there are little chunks. Just kind of get it spread around. And this is pumpkin. You know, the pumpkin's really, really inexpensive, and for the most part, usually, and has so much nutrition in it. Like, the pumpkin really has so much, well, obviously fiber, but it has zinc in it, and we know how important zinc is in these times. Everybody's talking about getting enough zinc. It's got vitamin A, vitamin C, and so, and it's really nice. Like, this is a nice filler because it doesn't taste like much. You know, just pumpkin on its own doesn't taste like much at all. So, okay, I'm just going to get that other masher here. I've got to stand up to do it. Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. Sometimes you just need a little bit more muscle. All right. My potatoes aren't even, but that's okay. Most of what I do is not even, and it turns out just fine. Okay, so we're adding this. I am going to just dump this on here. Come on, spinach, really? You don't want to? Aw, yeah, but you're going to be so lovely on here. You want to stay in the bowl? Come on. Okay, so we're just going to evenly place this around. And a couple more. There we go. All right, so we're going to dump this on. And then this goes in the oven again, and it goes just 350 degrees for, it all depends on your oven, you know, because the potatoes at 400 for 10 minutes, they're kind of sort of tender crisp, right? So, so you want to make sure that those potatoes get cooked. And so depending on your oven, my suggestion is 350 for probably half an hour, and then stick a fork into the potato part and just see, but it should be about a half an hour depending on your oven. And depending on how thick you cut the potatoes, that was the thing I was thinking. If they're thinner, of course they're going to cook faster. These ones turned out quite thick, so they might take a little bit longer. So you're just going to put all this on here. It has the lovely green color, so it's going to look a little bit different. Okay. And oh, I forgot to put the broccoli in. That's okay. I was going to, these guys will just shrivel up, so I'm going to just sprinkle them on top. And let me move this over here. I could sprinkle the broccoli on top too. You know, it'll get a little bit crispy, but that's okay. I don't have a whole lot of broccoli anyway. So these guys are just going to crisp right up. Like that. Just a few. Sometimes, you know, when you're working with, trying to be artistic with food, for me, speaking for myself, you go into a little bit of a meditation and you start getting really creative. And I would love to, I'd love to see some more color on this, and I'm trying to think of what. But anyway, that definitely looks better. Okay, so that's it. You put that in the oven for, you know, like I said, 350 for about half an hour. See how your potatoes are. You know, stick a knife or something into the edges and make sure that the potato doesn't feel like it's still raw. And so the other thing that I was going to mention too is I put an ad on my Facebook for my anti-spray. And it's the anti-spray, and it's like it's an antibacterial, you know, it has all the thieves oil ingredients, which were known. The thieves oil has a story from back in the day when they had like the big flu epidemics, or whatever you want to call all that. And they used a thieves oil, and it has eucalyptus, lemon, clove, lavender, rosemary. In this one here, I put eucalyptus, cinnamon, and juniper as well. So the smell is amazing. And I call it anti-spray because it's antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, and the eucalyptus is really, really good for the respiratory system. The lemon, of course, is really good as a disinfectant. And cloves, of course, do everything, you know, antiviral, antifungal, antiparasitic even. Lavender, of course, everybody knows lavender, and the smell is really good, wonderful, calming, peaceful, makes you feel good. Rosemary's super antiviral, and so cinnamon and juniper. So this is the spray that I've been using and selling, and it smells fantastic. And I really like the spray because it will get into those surfaces. Like if in my opinion, when I'm using hand sanitizer, you know, it kind of spreads pretty good, but doesn't get everywhere, especially if you're looking at, you know, light switches and door handles and things that have little holes in them. I find the spray works really good because it gets into all the little tiny spaces. Anyway, so there's that. People were asking me about that, where they could get it and what it was made of. And so that's that. So there we are. So we have our beautiful plant-based quiche. I'm going to stick this in the oven, and I will let you guys know. You can have a look at the picture that I post on Instagram and on my Facebook, so you can check it out, what it looks like cooked, and I will definitely let you know how it tastes. And we'll see you tomorrow morning at 11. So have a good day. Check out my Instagram, my YouTube channel, and like and share. See you tomorrow morning at 11.